Zed around?
Yes.
Could you help me figure out what is the best technique for me to get rid of these unconscious beliefs that are no longer serving me, especially the one that keeps bringing up poor health?
Yes, well, the issue being that you believe that you shouldn't be unhealthy.
Not that I believe that if as I get older people become unhealthy.
Well, you're saying that as people get older, they become unhealthy. That's not necessarily true. Many people get older and do not become unhealthy.
Right, but I guess...
But everyone ages, you see, and so the problem, part of the issue is that you're misunderstanding aging as equaling being unhealthy.
Right.
For instance, if your tires on your car wore out, the tread was worn out, you wouldn't say that there was something wrong with the car, that the car was inoperable or defunct in some way. You would understand that it was just simply a part that was worn out that needed to be replaced. There is a natural wear and tear on the body that is not indicative of ill health, you see.
Yes.
So you have to discern between the two. Is it aging or is it ill health?
I think it might be part of both.
Yes, you are correct in this particular instance. But this is where, in some cases, you could be more receptive to modern medicine, even though it is inconvenient and sometimes involves some undesirable energetic entanglements in order to get the care that you need. There are some areas in which Western medicine has a skill and understanding in repairing worn parts, you see. For example, let's say a knee replacement for someone might, obviously, it's not the best. Better to use your own knee. But there are cases where the physical vehicle is simply aged and worn out, like the tread on a tire. So if you can receive a new knee and it enables you to walk 5 or 10 years more, that is a place where Western medicine could be a benefit, you see.
Yes,
that is not something that herbs or energetic medicine can do. It cannot give you a brand new knee.
Right. And that is something that I would do.
Now, well, let us say this. As Zeta Reticuli, understand that we lost our physical form altogether. You see?
Yes.
Which is why we inhabit these, you would think of them as artificial bodies. Our souls inhabit them. So we have a very different perspective than you. We had physical bodies, and as a race of beings, we lost the privilege of having our natural body. And so we have acclimated to having artificial bodies in order to so that our souls may continue on in our evolutionary process.
I and not energy bodies?
We wanted to have form.
Okay.
And part of why we wanted to have form is because we failed in our endeavor to care for and facilitate regeneration of the body. So we want to learn some things about form, if that makes sense.
Yes. So,
in other words, the choice was taken away from us due to our mistakes. And so our only choice being to not have bodies at all, or to have engineered bodies. So when we talk to you about your health, you have to understand that our perspective.
okay.
So when I looked at your leg the other night, I have concern. It's not fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not panic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awareness and concern that something could be done for you that would be of help.
Yes.
And if you continue to neglect to take an action, you could, not anytime soon, but ultimately lose the use of your leg, and I know that you don't want that.
Yes, I have an appointment next Thursday to have it looked at. I'm not opposed to that at all.
And it's not urgent, but the issue with you is because of your constructs around healing and being a healer and wanting to adhere very strictly as possible to energy medicine and avoid the use of Western medicine. I know that if you can't be a little flexible here, that you might regret it. That is all.
No, I'm okay with that. But my question is, see, this is what I don't understand about all that. I had a woman come to see me. I guess she was in her 60s, maybe a little older. She was on, I'm not sure, I think maybe 7 drugs. And after being treated for a while, she got off all of her drugs. And evidently, she finally went back to see her doctor after a very long time. And he said, look at this, all of your, unless she was not telling me the truth, everything is right where it's supposed to be. Look how well those drugs are working. And she was no longer on drugs. And I had a woman who was told, now this is what I was told, whether or not it's true, and I can't be exact, but that she had 7 days to live, but if she went to a hospice, she would only be able to live 2 days because she wouldn't be able to take anything that was trying to help her to live because you go there to die, which didn't sound right to me, but that's what I think that's what she said. She goes to hospice. I stop there and treat her on a Friday night and on a Sunday on my way back from my mountain house. And after 9 months, they said, we don't think you're dying. And made her go back to a doctor to get checked out because they needed to justify her being there because some of that money was donated. And the doctor said, well, I don't understand it, but your heart's healthier now than it was 9 months ago. And they kicked her out and she lived, I don't know, somewhere between 3 to 5 more years. So how did that worn out heart last for another 3 to 5 years? How did that work? And why can't I do that for me?
Well, you're saying, why can't I?
Why haven't I? Well, yeah, not just that. Just you know, obviously I have some kind of unconscious beliefs that are in my way. I understand that.
Well, it's not so much that as it is just a resistance. That is all.
Resistance to?
Well, just a very general resistance to any sort of ailment or disorder or inability to heal or whatever. You have a very... You're highly attached to your conception of yourself as a healer.
And what's wrong with that? If I'm not, I need to get out of the business because I'm cheating people.
Well, you're not cheating anyone. We're talking about your personal health. Well, you see, this is part of what aging is, the purpose of aging. The purpose of aging is to help you release your attachments to your body before you die, you see. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
And this is where you must just in faith apply these methods of Hales. For instance, with your wife, when she was very ill and so many months had gone by and she would try to sing and she did not have the capacity to sing. Physically, she could not. So she had to let go. Could I let go of wanting and needing to sing? Could I let go of wanting and needing to be a singer, you see? And just had to let go of that attachment to that being a part of who she was.
Yes, and then she got healed, and then she went back to singing.
Yes.
So,
but there was no resistance there because she wasn't saying. Now she had, obviously there was resistance at points, but she was able to ultimately arrive at a point of saying, could I let go of wanting and needing to sing? Yes. Could I let go of wanting and needing to crochet and knit? Yes. Could I let go of wanting and needing to make art? Yes. Could I let go of wanting and needing to have sex? Yes. Whatever it is, you see. But this is a place where you simply, you do not have, at this point, the willingness to let go of wanting and needing to be healed and be healthy.
Okay, so...
And so because of that, there's resistance around it. Resistance, you see. There's just resistance.
Okay.
Why can't I heal myself? You hear the resistance in that? Why can't I heal myself? Do you hear the resistance there?
I changed it to why haven't I, but yes.
Well...
Okay, so... Alright, so, yeah, so I'm just wanting to know, well, if there's nobody up there that can just fix that for me, wipe that out.
Well, there's always potential for supernatural miracles.
Then what I guess what I'm asking then is, I'm getting the information that I looked for. I need to do more work on can I let go of needing to be able to heal myself?
Yes.
Can I let go of...
let's just do the work. Are you ready?
Yes.
Could I let go of wanting and needing to heal myself?
No.
Could I let go of wanting and needing to heal myself?
No.
Could I let go of wanting and needing to heal myself?
No.
Okay, so you see what you need to work on.
Yes. Okay, and that's what I was partly asking, is the technique to do that. So the letting go thing is a way that will work, is one of the best techniques for me.
What Judah has shared with this vessel, and we agree, is that anyone who is really willing to apply this technique can get rid of any thought, emotional constructs that are binding them in the fourth dimension.
So the
Sedona method, yes.
Sedona method, okay.
Yes, and your wife can write out these, and whichever ones that you feel resonate for you, you use those.
Okay, thank you.
They're all about either control, a safety, or approval, and you want to be able to heal yourself because that would allow you to remain in control of your final years, and you fear what your final years would be like without health, you see. And so that is the issue, is to let go of controlling that.
I just love being outside. I just love doing things like cutting grass. I just love building things. I just love fixing things.
Yes, well, letting go of your resistance around needing to heal yourself will put you in a better space for receiving those things.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
And we're glad to be here and be in your awareness now, and being your higher self, your future self, obviously as a Zeta Reticuli, having passed through the experience of having lost my natural body. So I'm a good person to talk to about these things, and as I said, I don't feel urgent or afraid about your condition, but I am very common sense and practical. And so, you know, when you go, if you go, choose to go to the doctor or have various procedures or improvements in order to extend or preserve various body parts or functionalities, you know, if you can let go of the frustration around having to deal with the medical system and so on, that will hopefully make the situation more amenable to you, and ultimately the choice is yours. But if you have a strong resistance or aversion to certain things they can offer you, specific things, then you may have to pay the consequences in your body.
No, I'm already doing something about my eye, and I already have an appointment next week for my legs. And
yes, and you will recover a lot of your eyesight.
Yes.
And it's too bad that you didn't go earlier, but you can recover quite a bit. But see, your aversion to some of these practices, we understand your aversions. We're not saying you're incorrect in your judgments about the medical system. But sometimes you know, people in general could benefit from tolerating some unpleasant things, if you know what I mean.
Yes, and I think part of that whole medical thing is I have heard some real horror stories, and doctors supposedly are the #1 killer of Americans. And so some of the horror stories now. So a big concern with that is finding somebody, like I was really happy with the people who came along for the heart stuff. I felt fine with that. I went into it fine, because I really liked them and I trusted them. But
Yes.
finding those people is part of the issue. How do you find somebody? How do you find somebody? And guess I just have to trust and let go.
Well, you can ask me and I will give you a yes or no, and you muscle test and just
okay.
use your intuition, or ask Judah, just in the same way that Judah directed you throughout the entire process with your heart surgery.
Okay. Thank you.
But if your starting point is always a starting point of fear, it's making things difficult for you in general.
Well, I don't feel fearful about going to see the doctor about my legs.
Good.
And I don't feel fearful about having another shot in my eye, although it hurt like hell. It hurt more than the open heart surgery.
Yes.
But I'll do it for 50% more vision. I will do it 2 more times. So I do understand it, and I do know that Western medicine saves lives. I absolutely know that. But there is a lot of over prescribing drugs and a lot of surgeries, I believe, that don't really need to happen. But anyway, for me, just finding the right people, and with your guys' help, I feel much, much better about that.
Yes, and you, of course, have discernment, and you can say no to anything that you don't want to do. Just as you did with your open heart surgery, you said no. And then later, you found another doctor and had time to think and make a different decision.
Right.
You always have the option to say no, but just be aware of what it may or may not cost you.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like I need to wait and make sure that the right person, that I'm hooking up with the right person under the right circumstance, and if I feel that, then I'm making a move.
Yes, that sounds like wisdom, we think.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, and I'm always here to speak with you anytime. And you don't need the vessel necessarily for that. If it helps to give you clarity, that's fine, but I'm here regardless.
I've kind of spoken to you a couple of times. Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for anything, just kind of thanked you for being there.
Yes.